The players weren't supposed to come back. That dungeon crawl you ran last month, a one-shot. The murder mystery with the cult, also a one-shot. But now the party has named their group, bought a house in town, and someone just asked if this is an actual campaign now. You smile, you nod, you lie. Because the truth is, none of this was supposed to connect. It's one of the most common moments a game master faces. Your players latch on to something meant to be disposable, and suddenly you're scrambling to stitch a story together out of unrelated parts. But don't worry, you're not alone. In fact, you're about to learn how to turn a pile of mismatched one-shots into a cohesive, compelling campaign with a real through line. Hello folks, welcome to the DM Lair. I'm Luke Hart, and on this channel I share my nearly 30 years of Game Master experience so that you can run amazing games that your players will love. And today we're diving into 13 methods for linking your disconnected adventures into a single, satisfying story. Look, every game master wants to run unforgettable game sessions. But let's be real, coming up with fresh adventures, clever traps, and interesting encounters week after week, that's practically a full-time job. That's where the DM Lair Ultimate Collection and Layers and Legends 2 come in. These massive books are packed with pre-written adventures, monsters, puzzles, traps, magic items, encounters, maps, and more, all designed for D&D 5th edition and ready to drop into your game. And here's the best part. We designed these books to be plug and play. Need a dungeon fast? Got it. Need an NPC with depth and secrets? Done. Just flip to the section you need, run it straight off the page, and look like a genius behind the screen. Click the link below to grab your copies now. Don't spend another game night stressed, scrambling, or worse, recycling that same old tired dungeon yet again. Number 1, the relic method. In one adventure, the party finds a broken blade etched with runes they can't translate. In the next, they discover a matching hilt clutched in the hand of a long dead king. By the third, they've realized they're reassembling something ancient and dangerous. That's the relic method. This approach uses magical items, puzzle pieces, or mysterious artifacts that span multiple adventures. Each one-shot introduces a new fragment, whether it's literal, like a shattered sword or torn map, or metaphorical, like a repeating dream or reoccurring symbol. As the players collect these pieces, they slowly uncover a larger story or threat, tying everything together. The beauty of this method is that it's modular. You can drop these relics into almost any adventure, regardless of theme or setting, and build the larger narrative in parallel. It keeps players engaged with a mystery that grows with them, and rewards their curiosity with satisfying payoffs. Number 2, a common rally point. The adventurers always return to the same place, a coastal town with a tavern that never runs dry, a quirky mayor with more secrets than sense, and a portal in the woods that definitely wasn't glowing last week. Don't portals always glow? I'm pretty sure portals I think it's contractual that magical portals have to glow, isn't it? Anyway, that's the power of a rally point. This method uses a shared home base, like a town, guild hall, or airship, as the narrative glue between adventures. Each one-shot can send players across the world, into the Underdark, or through planar portals, but they always return to somewhere. And every time they do, something has changed. Maybe the town's grown, maybe it's under threat, maybe it's harboring a spy. The rally point becomes more than a rest stop, it becomes personal. Players start investing in it, protecting it, and shaping it. Over time, it anchors the campaign, giving emotional weight to each unrelated adventure by making the game about the world the players are becoming to care about. Number 3, reoccurring villain or organization. In the first adventure, the party stops a bandit ambush. Easy enough, but one bandit escapes. Don't they always? In the next one-shot, the same symbol from the bandits' bandanas is found on a warlock's robes. And the latter? A noble confesses he's in debt to someone called the Violet Mask. Congratulations, you've just created a reoccurring villain or organization. This method threads continuity through your campaign by reusing antagonists or groups they serve. Even if the adventures seem unrelated on the surface, players start connecting the dots. Why do these enemies keep showing up? Who are they working for? That growing sense of dread or curiosity turns disconnected quests into a slow burn mystery. You don't need to overplan it either. Just drop hints, a matching ring, a whispered name, a shared goal. Over time, the players will build the conspiracy for you. And when that villain finally shows up again, stronger, smarter, and way more dramatic, it feels like everything was connected all along. Number 4, prophecy framing device. An old crone once told the ranger, "The day your blade shatters, the world breaks with
worth it.
No one took her seriously until the blade did shatter, right as a rift to the Shadowfell opened. Suddenly, every weird prophecy the parties heard doesn't seem so random anymore. This is the prophecy framing device. Start your campaign with a cryptic prophecy, ancient poem, or vision. Then design each one-shot to fulfill a piece of that prophecy, intentionally or not. One adventure might involve the Serpent of Gold from verse 2. Another might revolve around the child born under a blood moon. Players won't know what it means at first, but when they start connecting the lines, it's magic. This method gives unrelated stories a sense of destiny. It makes players feel like they're part of something bigger, even if they don't realize it yet. Just be sure to keep it mysterious enough to avoid being too obvious or too railroady. The other trick also is to know what the one-shots you're going to use in advance are, and then create your poem or prophecies from them so that everything just links together perfectly. Number 5, building an overarching narrative. The players fight goblins in one adventure, lizard folk in another, and a sea hag in the third. On the surface, it's just a string of fun one-shots. But then someone realizes something. All the treasure hoards included flawless moonstones. That's when the questions start. This method is all about finding or creating common threads across seemingly unrelated adventures. Maybe you link your one-shots through shared monster types like undead or dragons. Maybe it's a reoccurring environment, like everything taking place in the mountains or near the sea. Or maybe it's a theme, villages under siege, planar breaches, or rising giants. If the adventures weren't written with a connection in mind, you can make one. Drop in repeating details, an item, a sound, a dream. Change a goblin ambush to a skeleton ambush. Add moonstones to every loot pile. Over time, the players will start connecting dots, even if you're still figuring out what those dots mean. And that's when the campaign starts feeling intentional. Hey, real quick, if this information is sparking ideas for your game, hit that like button and share it with your favorite game master. And if you think I don't completely suck, please let me know in the comments. Apparently, lots of people think I suck, and boy, it really gets me right here. It's a horrible life, just crying in the corner because people are mean to me in the comments. If I were, I shouldn't be doing YouTube, huh? Number 6, the chain of consequences. In one session, the party stops a necromancer from completing a dark ritual, but they leave the ruins before checking his notes. In the next adventure, a different cult finishes what he started, unleashing an undead plague across the countryside. That's the chain of consequences. This method ties one-shots together by letting the outcomes of one adventure directly impact the next. It rewards player decisions, good or bad, by showing how those choices ripple across the world. Maybe they spared a villain who returns stronger. Maybe they saved a town that now offers aid in a future battle. Maybe they ignored something they shouldn't have, and now there's a big problem they'll have to resolve. It doesn't have to be complex, just track what happened and think, what would change because of this? Then build your next adventure around that fallout. This approach gives players a sense of real impact and turns isolated episodes into a living, evolving campaign world. Number 7, all bosses work for one big boss. The players defeat a cult leader, a warlock, and a vampire lord in 3 separate one-shots. Different locations, different goals, but each one carries a letter sealed with the same symbol, a 3-eyed skull. Now the party's asking, who's really behind all this? That's the one big boss method. You choose a major villain, your campaign's true big bad, and quietly place them behind the scenes of every adventure. The players fight lieutenants, generals, or pawns, but over time they start to realize they're picking away at a much bigger threat. You can reinforce this with clues, coded messages, shared emblems, reoccurring minions, or intercepted orders. If you want to get fancy, rework each boss to fit the theme, like turning every major enemy into a different kind of undead or dragon. When the party starts seeing a pattern, they'll feel like brilliant detectives, even if you're still figuring it out behind the screen. Number 8, central NPC quest giver. The party always gets their jobs from the same source, a grizzled old war mage who owes them a favor. One week he's sending them to rescue a missing scout, the next, recovering an artifact from a cursed swamp. But after a few missions, they realize he's not telling them everything. That's the central NPC quest giver. This method links your one-shots through a reoccurring NPC who hands out quests. They could be a noble, a guild leader, a talking cat, It doesn't matter. What matters is consistency. The players grow attached, suspicious, or curious, and eventually they might start asking why this person is always involved. Now, the NPC doesn't have to be evil or manipulative, but they could be. Maybe they're using the party to achieve a secret goal. Maybe they're protecting them from something worse. Either way, having a central quest giver creates continuity between sessions and gives players a reason to keep coming back. Number 9, integrating character backstory as a linking vehicle. In one adventure, the party investigates a cursed mine, where the bard finds an old journal signed by his missing brother. In another, a shadowy enemy calls the paladin by their true name, the one from their orphanage records. Suddenly, these random quests aren't so random anymore. This method uses character backstories as the glue that holds your campaign together. If your players give you detailed backgrounds, great. Look for shared elements like lost family, rival factions, or a mysterious prophecy that ties them together. Use those threads to shape the overarching story and tie each one-shot into the player's personal stakes. If the backstories don't link up naturally, which is usually the case, no problem. You can always insert details that do. Introduce a villain who appears in multiple character histories. Reveal that seemingly unrelated locations all trace back to a single tragic event. Players love when the story becomes about them, and backstory-driven connections make even the most scattered adventures feel deeply personal. Number 10, dimensional or time-hopping narrative. One week, the party is stopping a cult in a crumbling jungle temple. The next, they're on a floating city in the astral plane hunting a rogue chronomancer. The one after that, a desert ruin where they meet their own future selves. No, it's not a fever dream. It's a time-hopping, plane-jumping campaign. This method ties one-shots together by making the multiverse or timeline itself the connective tissue. Each adventure takes place in a different plane, dimension, or era, but they're all steps on a bigger journey. Maybe the players are chasing someone through time. Maybe they're connecting planar keys, or maybe they're trying to stop a catastrophe that echoes across realities. You can make each one-shot wildly different in tone and setting, while still building toward a unified goal. Bonus, the strange transitions make even the weirdest plot connections feel intentional. After all, in the multiverse, anything goes. Number 11, Book of Legends or journal framing. At the start of each session, the DM reads a short passage. In the 12th tale of the Wandering Blades, they faced the Scaled Warden beneath the black volcano. The players smile because this week's one-shot, it's already part of legend. That's the Book of Legends framing device. This method wraps each one-shot in the idea that it's a recorded story, written in an ancient tome, remembered in song, or pieced together from journal entries or found records. The framing might be subtle, like a narrator's voice at the beginning and end, or fully built in, like the players discovering pages from a journal that foreshadow what's to come. As the campaign unfolds, players might start noticing discrepancies, a missing chapter, a prophecy that hasn't come true yet. Or maybe they realize they're not just reading the story, they're the ones writing it. It's a stylish, flexible way to connect episodes with a growing sense of myth. Number 12, shared setting evolution. The players return to a town they saved 3 adventures ago, only now it has a statue of them in the square, and a booming economy, and a suspicious new cult forming in the shadows. That's shared setting evolution. This method keeps all your one-shots grounded in the same evolving world. The party might visit new regions, towns, or dungeons each time, but the setting itself remembers what they've done. A ruined keep they passed by in one adventure is now a fortified bandit camp. A rival NPC they once defeated is now the mayor of a neighboring town. The key is continuity. Keep track of names, factions, and events, then show how they change over time. Players love seeing the world react to them, and you don't need a grand narrative to make it feel cohesive. You just need consequences, callbacks, and a world that doesn't reset every time they roll initiative. Number 13, legacy items or traits. In their first adventure, the party finds a rusted ring with strange carvings. It doesn't do much until 3 sessions later when it glows during a lunar eclipse and unlocks a hidden door. Now the ranger won't take it off. This is the legacy items or traits method. You give the players something, a magic item, a mark, a curse, a title that carries forward from one shot to the next. Maybe it grows stronger over time. Maybe it unlocks secrets, attracts enemies, or changes their reputation. The key is that it evolves with the characters, becoming a thread of continuity, no matter how disconnected the adventures might seem. It doesn't have to be mechanical. Maybe a character gains a tattoo from a celestial being or earns a nickname in one town that follows them to the next. These These legacy elements create a sense of progress and history. They're the scars, trophies, and stories that make the campaign feel like theirs. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to check out the DM Lair Ultimate Bundle and Layers and Legends 2 at the links below. Now, if you'd like to see 7 ways pro dungeon masters such as Matt Mercer have failed, watch this video right here. And until next time, happy game mastering.